The diets that really work, as tested by the CSIRO. Today on Studio 10, Australia's best scientists hand down their verdict on the most popular diets with surprising results. Plus, we reunite the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
It's time to see what all the fuss is about with Ita.
Goodness me, girl, you haven't lived.
Joe.
Just keep smiling, Joe. The audience is
Jess.
Can I push it?
Yeah.
And Sarah.
I'm having a baby!
Beaming across Australia, it's Studio 10, live from Melbourne.
Wonderful Melbourne audience. Great to see you. Hope we've got you in the mood this Friday morning, wherever you are in this wonderful country of ours. Welcome to Studio 10. It is fantastic to have your company. A very good morning to your panel. I'm a bit out of breath from that
Good
dancing.
morning, Sarah.
I'm dizzy. I feel a bit dizzy. I'm a bit worried about those
I remember.
doing, Joe.
The dip.
What could possibly go wrong?
Can we please say hello to Libby Gorr, our very own Libby Gorr. Ita Buttrose this morning.
Channeling Ita.
So good to have you.
It's my pleasure.
It's nice to have you,
It's nice to channel Ita. I'm feeling very sensible.
And you don't get cross with me either.
Oh, my aim for this morning is to make you snort. Easy. All right.
We love the snort. And also in our guest host chair, it is Australia's most read columnist, Andrew.
You know what?
Welcome.
I'm so hoping to find some common ground with you today.
We're going to be looking for a long time.
No, that's part. Are you a
only
cat?
goes for a couple of
No,
hours.
but are you a cat man or a dog person?
A dog person.
Oh, no.
It's a dog person.
This
Two
is a-
dogs.
It's not started well.
Damn it, I was hoping you'd like cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
Distance clash.
you'll find that Andrew is a very attractive man. It's just that sometimes when he speaks, he spoils it, but he's fine.
Came to my house and everything.
Let's get into our hot topics for this morning. And first up, there are calls this morning for the former High Court judge overseeing the Royal Commission into Union corruption to be dumped. Labor is making the call after it was revealed Royal Commissioner Dyson Heydon was billed as guest speaker at a Liberal Party fundraiser. He's since withdrawn from the speaking engagement. Andrew, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, look, he didn't actually know it was a fundraiser, it seems, almost certainly. He's a guy that was a High Court judge, one of our most distinguished jurists, right? So they invited him. That was a mistake. But then Labor's jumped on this, I think, in order to protect crook unions and to protect Bill Shorten.
If the shoe was on the other foot, you'd jump on it, though, wouldn't you? Really?
I've got a record
You'd
of calling it as I see it on both sides, and on this one, it is shameful to do this to a distinguished judge, to drag his reputation through the mud.
You know, there's an interesting other point of view to this, and that is, if one is a distinguished jurist, one should know to whom you are going to visit to give a speech. So that is really the threshold issue. If you have total respect for the process and you want the process to retain its integrity, should you put aside your own personal agenda to say, you know what, if me heading this commission injures the whole state of play of what a Royal Commission is, given that I do have links with the party that's called this commission, shouldn't I step aside? Well, he does, obviously.
He agreed to give an address that the year before had been given by a former Chief Justice as well, Murray Gleeson. You've got to look at the more important thing here.
Which is the integrity of the system.
Yes.
Which is being able to look at our political process.
Let me finish.
With respect. Okay.
All right. The more important thing here is not whether he accepted an invitation that shouldn't have been offered and then pulled out, as he pulled out immediately, he realised.
If they can offer, he shouldn't have accepted.
Yeah. That is not the most important issue. The most important issue is whether Labor is trashing a jurist's name in order to protect some of the unions we've seen, where people have been arrested, people have been accused of corruption, blackmail. You're now taking the bait and ignoring what's really important in order to pile on a guy that...
And what's important to me is the integrity of the system.
I think there are a couple of things here. Whether or not Dyson Hayden knew it was a Liberal Party fundraiser when he accepted the invitation. Now, to be honest, if he actually did know and accepted it, that would be such an appalling lapse of judgment. It's almost impossible. It's impossible to comprehend that someone that smart would do that. Even if
it said $80, and you make it out to the Liberal Party.
But whether or not he wouldn't have got that's to the public though. That's not the invitation that he would have received. Now, both sides do it all the time. Liberals always bring into question the impartiality of, say, Fair Work commissioners who are often ex-union leaders, and so it happens all the time. But whether or not you want a star chamber into every previous government.
Well, aren't we off to a cracking start here on Studio 10? What do you think of this? With the 9 to 5 working day out the window, should workers be paid for being available 24/7? Jess, is this just the way our work lives are evolving?
Unfortunately, it is, I think. We're all available 24/7. I'm regularly on my phone, checking in with work.
You don't really reply to your emails, though.
Well, you know what? After hours, I don't. I kind of make a bit of a point. So I do. I don't know how you could possibly monetise time away from work checking emails. I think this is the way the world is going.
$5 an email or something? $5 for every email you reply to?
I tell you what, I would then reply to every single one of them.
But isn't it increasingly, we're being paid for the role we do, not the hours we put in.
He's so right.
Really? Sometimes.
Because, like, so right. Most
This
of the
happened
time.
the last time we met, you started agreeing with me more and more and more. You should stay away.
No, I'm in between you guys. That's not going to happen.
You can cut the tension with a knife. It's being called the Apple killer. Exactly. The latest generation of smartphone has just been unveiled in New York. And our tech expert, Steve Fennick, he is there. Steve. Good morning to you. Tell us about this new smartphone.
Yeah, there's actually 2 new smartphones, Sarah. I've actually got them with me right now.
Can I just say, it cannot possibly be better than this cat phone.
This is the devices that are really challenging Apple now. They've really put a lot into these devices. They're very powerful. They've got a lot of unique features.
But can they answer work emails after hours? Stephen Fennick in New York City. Thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
No worries.
Still ahead on Studio 10, Rob Mills, plus what we'll all be wearing this spring, and a shock eviction from The Bachelor. There's heaps more coming up. You don't want to miss it.
The diets that really work, as tested by the CSIRO. Today on Studio 10, Australia's best scientists hand down their verdict on the most popular diets with surprising results. Plus, Studio 10 is reuniting the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
You're not a train wreck, and you haven't been in rehab, and you haven't robbed a convenience store.
Yet. That's all ahead on today's Studio 10. G'day, you're watching Studio 10, where just like our hosts, you could be enjoying world-class luxury accommodation at Grand Hyatt Melbourne.
Oh, Maya, it launched its spring fashion for 2015 last night. There's our Jennifer Hawkins.
Oh, that is fresh.
Very, very fresh. Well, we are going to check now in with Jono. Jono, what are you up to this morning?
Oh, very stylish. More blue steel.
What do you think?
More. Nice.
I am exhausted. Last night, it took it out of me. I tell you what, all those mojitos that I was pounding behind the bar, fantastic night though. And our Jen, can that girl dance? James and I had our hands full, but thank God it's Friday. And James is here with me as well. He's a bit hungover. Ladies and gentlemen, James.
Pages around the country, so what's happening where you live. We'll start with the Courier Mail, which has full of hot air. The Queensland government is considering banning helium balloons because of environmental concerns. How will they make those funny voices, though?
I was going to say.
The Herald Sun has 2,000 ice hoons. Dozens of Victorian drivers are being caught high on ice each week. And finally, the front page of the Daily Telegraph, it has cheap shot. Tennis bad boy Nick Kyrgios has been slammed for filthy remarks he made towards opponent Stan Wawrinka. And one more coming up, actually. The West Australian, it has the same story. The headline is Sex Sledge, and we will be talking about this later in the show. Bad boy antics, or did he go too far this time? Get on our Facebook page and let us know what you think. Well, still to come on Studio 10, we reveal the diets that really work. It's official, and we reunite the cast.
It's official. Stories that begin with "it's official."
Exactly. It's CSIRO approved, Joe. It's got to be right. Yeah. Plus, we reunite the cast of The Waltons. But next, Rob Mills joins us live. Take us out, Elvis.
G'day folks, you're watching Studio 10, my favourite program. Thanks to the home of Gloria Jean's Coffees, where we are, and you can make the most of your mornings with one of these delicious crunchy ham and cheese toasties with your favourite coffee. Look at Damo. He's... Oh, don't eat the... No, Damo, no. That's my one.
Gee, he is so handsome, that Damo. Let's look at the weather around the country. First to Queensland. A very good morning to you, Brisbane. 22 degrees, the forecast maximum. 20 and a little bit of rain about on the Gold Coast. It is much warmer in the west. Look at them, they're showing off a top of 23 for Perth. And it is always sunny in Darwin. 32 degrees, the top there. Jonathan Coleman, are you there? Jonathan, are you there?
I think we're still singing a love ballad to a ham and cheese sandwich.
It's hard having to get in and out of the costume. I tell you what, I just want to say hello to all my friends who came and saw me sing the other night at Bunbury. Love you, Bunbury. Love you, Perth. Fantastic. Oh, yes, it is the weekend almost. It's Friday, or if you're watching this on videotape, happy Hanukkah, happy Easter 1957. But before we go, out there on the interweb thing, which all the kids are raving about, I know mine are, Catherine has got some very good news when it comes to Optus and her bundle. Catherine, take it away.
Well, Rob Mills hasn't stopped since making his debut on Australian Idol. Remember that? He's made hit singles, a TV show, and he's made headlines in the tabloids, and even better, he is here with us right now today on Studio 10.
Hello.
Oh, how lovely.
What are you, mate?
You're a polite young man.
You had a boot and a bump to get around.
I did the bum right in the camera, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
That's what the people want to see. That's what they want to see.
Hey, Rob, but your new show, it's called Rob Mills, is surprisingly good.
And it is surprisingly good.
Oh, thanks, mate. Every review that I've sort of received over the years has been, oh, he's actually all right. You know, he's surprisingly good. Like, literally, some of it have even written, he's surprisingly good. So
Do you
I just
think that's because of Paris Hilton?
you know what? Maybe.
I like...
Maybe, but also...
don't like
oh, look at this girl. Look at that, you know, white sunglasses.
How old were you then?
Blonde tips, 21.
10 years ago?
And why wouldn't you?
21-year-old.
Why wouldn't you have gone on a date?
I bought that suit on the way to the races
Isn't
that
funny
day.
he's talking about but you know what,
Fact.
though? But why I'm kind of cross
Thanks,
is
Maya.
because my husband loves Paris Hilton too.
Yeah.
So...
What has she done lately? And I'm trying to think, has she had a successful relationship since this, you know?
No, that's right.
breaking
It's interesting,
hearts.
though, Rob, how
Breaking hearts.
when you're carving out a career and you've got Australian Idol, you've got the tabloidy stuff on one side.
In my show, I actually wear really ridiculously tight jodhpurs. There's a reveal for the jodhpurs. Come along, check it out. I don't want to give away too much.
Well, I think you've just
Good on
told
you,
us
Mills.
about it.
Yeah.
Rob Mills, everyone, let's thank him.
See you Monday night.
Sort of come on Studio 10, the diets that really do work. And a shock eviction from the House of Love. Ooh. We'll catch up with the latest Bachelorette to be shown the door. Andrew Bolt, can't wait. That is up.
Studio 10 is reuniting the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
You're not a train wreck, and you haven't been in rehab, and you haven't robbed a convenience store.
Yet. Plus, what does it take to be a great speller? We talk to the pronouncer. Correct. Today on Studio 10, it's educational.
Right, surely gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn. I am just a devil with love to spare. Everybody, Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Now I wish that there were more.
Viva Melbourne! Viva Studio 10. That is the ultimate Elvis. Paul Fennicky is singing for us all show as we celebrate 50 years since Elvis met the Beatles. Now, if there is one place you can have real time out, it's in the toilet, right?
Oh, yeah.
You would hope.
Maybe not. One writer for Rendezvous says she is constantly being bombarded in her work bathroom, so has offered up her top tips for restroom etiquette. Number 1. Do not use the stall next to an occupied stall if there are others free.
Absolutely true.
And she's also heading up a campaign for elevator music and an automatic perfume spray. Jessica Rowe. This is actually about your husband. He gave his phone to the head of phone maintenance to be checked out. And he was coming out of the toilet stall, and so was the head of phones bloke, with Pete's phone in his hand saying, I fixed your phone.
Oh, Petey would have freaked out about
He
that.
said, I want a new one. I want a new one.
How efficient is
As
that?
well, what I do not get in work toilets, you're there and you think, great, no, there's no one in here. In I sneak. Someone comes right next to you.
I know. Yeah.
And then I have to hold my breath and I wait. You don't want to make any sound, and then you think, well, I just put my feet up so they don't know it's me. And then you have to wait until they go, and it's terrible.
Should you ever do a number 2 at work?
I do all the time.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
Studio 10, smarten up your conversation. Let's cross to Jonathan Coleman now, who actually I've seen walking out of the girls' toilets before.
It's very true, actually. I've got so many stories going through my head, and the only one I can think of at the moment, which is clean in this time slot, is the time that Pete, Jessica's husband, rang me thinking I was the Channel 9 helicopter pilot. So I'm in his phone as Jono, the helicopter pilot, and I was just coming out of the special needs bathroom that I use as my second office, and I get this message, mate, I'll meet you down on the pad. I was like, is that Pete? Anyway, enough of my problems. I'll just go and wash my hands now. Hey, this is a good idea. Here's Nikki.
We will tackle the hot topics of the day after this very short break. Plus, watch your P's and Q's. We meet the pronouncer from Spelling Bee. That keeps go ahead.
The diets that really work as tested by the CSIRO. Today on Studio 10, Australia's best scientists hand down their verdict on the most popular diets with surprising results. Plus, Studio 10 is reuniting the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
You're not a train wreck, and you haven't been in rehab, and you haven't robbed a convenience store.
Yet. That's all ahead on today's Studio 10. Beaming across Australia, it's Studio 10, live from Melbourne.
Shoes and dog you. Stand on our blue suede shoes. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. We can do it.
All right, also joining us all morning, we have Libby Gorr, who's flirting up a storm with Elvis this morning. And Australia's most read columnist, Andrew Bolt, who's flirting up a storm with Libby Gorr. All right, let's drop the niceties. Let's get into some debates, shall we, for this morning? And there are new developments this morning over the death of a celebrity dermatologist who killed himself after being sent up on television. It's been revealed Frederick Brand sent a text to a friend saying, I'm so upset, I'm a freak, just 2 weeks before he committed suicide. Libby, should comedy be censored, do you think, in case people take offence?
Oh, this is a really, really fraught issue, because on the one hand you've got comedy and freedom of speech, and on the other side you've got people's feelings. And you've got to be incredibly careful about deciding regulating what people are allowed to say in the name of humour.
I find it very fair. The idea that you would censor anything on the basis that someone somewhere among 7 billion people on the planet
is going to be offended.
Offense,
I agree in many respects.
You'd end up saying absolutely nothing ever. No one would ever be able to communicate. Forget comedy. No one would
what
be
about
able to
hounding?
express an
This is
opinion.
where I was drawing the line. What about hounding? What if it's a concerted?
That's not hounding,
if it's a concerted campaign.
They send up celebrities all the time.
You know what, though? I do think, though, we need to think about the wider implications of what we say.
Yeah.
That Okay, don't censor everything, but the thing is, this wasn't just a broad stroke, we'll just make fun of just sort of an anonymous person. This was very clearly targeted at that particular interview.
Donald Trump was always sent up over his head.
But
it's
cruel. To me, that is cruel. Free speech is not an excuse to be cruel and unkind to people, and I think there is too much cruelty without realising the consequences.
That is a sketch show.
If you were going someone in a column, Andrew, just say you were really going someone in a column day after day after day after day, do you feel any responsibility to their mental health, what they might do?
Well, I do. I mean, you balance all these things, but I mean, Joe's right. I mean, if you don't start criticising public figures, then you don't fix what's broken sometimes, do you? I mean, I get criticised probably more than anyone on this panel. Exactly right. But what, are you suddenly going to stop criticising me? No, because you think that's part of the debate about how to get to somewhere better.
Yeah. Right.
Just because it's too much fun.
Well, an intensive boot camp for young criminals has been branded a joke. Family First says the government is just looking for a way to solve overcrowding problems in jails. Do you agree, Andrew?
Where's the evidence that they actually work? Why wouldn't a jail setting work better? And there's some risk. I mean...
Oh, come on. I think...
No, because it's structured, and then you get your lessons, and you get your social workers, you get this and that.
I think with jail, I think the risk is that for a lot of people, they come out worse than when they entered. And I think there is some evidence that boot camps work in Australia. There's a wonderful guy called Father Chris Riley who works for a lot of homeless young people who are in trouble, and he takes them off into the bush
it's homeless
and has
people.
camps.
We're talking about
but this will be there'll be some young people whose alternative is either go to jail or let's do this.
Yeah, but that in trouble.
But they've been in jail.
That program is really, really exciting and inspiring, right? And that's bringing them to work and that sort of stuff. You know, for some people really on the margins, and particularly Aboriginal kids, they are committing crimes in order to get to jail, in order to get them the meals, the care, the safe bed, and that kind of stuff. Now, would boot camp be better? I'm not so sure.
I think the interesting thing about this is that it provides a sort of mentorship program, and that is very important. And we know that particularly for young men and boys, if they have a strong male figure to look up to and to emulate, they will. Can make a huge difference in their lives.
Yeah. Let's look at some feedback that's coming in on this topic. We have a couple from you at home. This from Linda. Boot camp should be like military training without the guns. This country has gone way too soft on our kids. From Melanie. It's a great idea. It could help some young people turn their lives around. Well, if you use Facebook or Twitter or any kind of social media, be warned your comments could end up costing you a fortune. Take a look. Studio 10, see what all the fuss is about. 8:30 Monday. We have more hot topics coming up in just a tick. Plus, Joe will open up his What in the Weird file at the hilarious time of 10:20. Right now, though, let's find out what's happening in the world of entertainment. Craig Bennett, a very good morning to you.
Hello, Sarah. I got to say, it's all happening. Beyonce is making history. She is covering Vogue, but I'll tell you why this is a historic moment. It's all about Elvis. I mean, we know this coming weekend he was gathered 38 years ago. His private nurse is telling all. I've got the shocking details. Plus, his doctor, the very controversial Dr. Nick, reveals what really killed Elvis. There is an auction. You'll be able to lick him because he's coming on a stamp. So much more happening there. Will Smith, he's heading back to Bel Air. I have the details. All of that, so much more in the always eye-popping showbiz file. You will not want to miss a second.
We'll see you in a sec. Now, does your kid's room look like Kourtney Kardashian's son's Mason?
Yes, it does. How did you know?
There it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Herald Sun writer Susie O'Brien took a look inside your typical kid's room. Toys everywhere, unmade beds, half-made Lego creations. Does that look more familiar? Yeah. Joe?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty neat, that one.
Yeah,
how's Henry's room?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just mostly pizza boxes and milk crates.
Plenty more of Studio 10 after this very short break, including our fabulous $5 quiz and the pronouncer from the Great Australian Spelling Bee. That and lots more is coming up just after the break.
Studio 10 is reuniting the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
You're not a train wreck, and you haven't been in rehab, and you haven't robbed a convenience store.
Yet. But next, the diets that really work as tested by the CSIRO. Today on Studio 10, Australia's best scientists hand down their verdict on the most popular diets with surprising results. Next on Studio 10.
All right. Righty, Beyonce. How good's Beyonce?
How fabulous is
She's
Beyonce?
amazing. You've got some Beyonce news coming up.
Almost
on your
as
showbiz
fabulous as you, Sarah. That's the truth. I tell you what, she's making history, Beyonce. She really is. She's covering the September issue of Vogue. And I'll tell you why this is historic. But first, we like to keep you on tenterhooks, don't we, Sarah?
Another cover girl.
Oh, you bet your bippy. But first, it's over to Jono, who, well, I guess at some point in time might make good cover girl material, don't
look
you
at
think?
him. Look at that face.
Jono.
I'm on tenterhooks. I'm on tenterhooks. You know what? I once met Beyonce, and she said to me, "You used to be Jonathan Coleman, didn't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Are you still doing that window cleaning work since the court case when they caught you up at that window?" I said, "Beyonce, I don't talk about it." That was all Daryl, ladies and gentlemen.
Inside to the showbiz file. Please welcome the wonderful Craig Bennett.
God, that's a rock star. Welcome.
Now, Craigie, Beyonce is the queen of music, and now she has cemented her place in the fashion world. She's appearing on a very important magazine cover.
Well, it's Vogue, as we hinted, but the interesting thing, haven't you, Joe? Get your newsstand, you'll find it begins with B.
Wow.
There she is. She's only known as B because she's simply that big a superstar.
I still want to know where she puts all her credit cards and keys and things.
She does. People do that for her, Joe. Don't you realise when you're a queen, you never carry anything?
That's right. The richer you are, the less you pay for things.
Perfect.
Now, from Queen Bee to the King, Priscilla Presley, fitting for this show, has spoken about the new Elvis album.
Look, this is a wonderful album. In fact, this is Elvis, like we've never heard him before. We're looking at the cover now. If I can dream. This is Elvis singing with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, you see. He always wanted to sing with the Royal Philharmonic or some kind of orchestra, but Colonel Tom Parker was
where he sort of went away from the R&B roots and all that, and sort of went a bit too mainstream and lost that special identity.
You are right, Andrew, but he always wanted to work with an orchestra.
Right.
Oh, sorry, you're not right. You're left. No, I didn't know that.
He's right.
Brilliant, Craig. We love you. Thank you very much.
Oh, what a joy. I'll never look at saddle sores in quite the same way again.
You are like a comforting gauze to us.
I get saddle sores on this couch. It's a true thing.
I'd love to be swaddled by. Now, it is Friday, and we are counting down to the $5 quiz. There is plenty more of Studio 10 right after this.
Snorting.
Studio 10 is reuniting the cast of the classic TV show, The Waltons.
You're not a train wreck, and you haven't been in rehab, and you haven't robbed a convenience store.
Yet. Plus, what does it take to be a great speller? We talk to the pronouncer.
Correct.
Today on Studio 10, it's educational.
Welcome back to Studio 10 as we broadcast live from Melbourne in what is known as Studio Bert. You can still smell a great man in here, can't you? We are about to play the $5 quiz, which means we need a lucky audience member to join us on the quiz arena. Who wants to play? Let's have a look here.
You up there? Yes, you up there. Come on down here, lady. Oh, this is very exciting. This is the most exciting thing to ever happen. Come down here, my friends. Come right down here. Stand between Selena. There we go. Now tell me, what's your name?
Heidi.
Heidi. Now, have you seen the $5 quiz before?
No.
Okay then. All right. Well, looks like we've got the right contestant. Take a seat up there in the quiz arena. This should be interesting. We will be playing the $5 quiz in a few short moments. But first, here's Jono.
Thanks, Robo, and in turn, here's Alex.
Get ready for Australia's richest prize pool. One of our contestants will win $5 Australian as we play Studio 10's The $5 Quiz. Now, please welcome your quizmaster, David Robinson.
Yes. Paul, you always get lucky on the quiz, even when it's happening from our very special home here in Melbourne at Studio Bet. We're very excited to be here, but we're also celebrating the time where the Elvis met the Beatles. Isn't that exciting? That's what we're celebrating here today. That's why you dressed in those costumes. Isn't that weird? You thought the wardrobe was having some kind of weird moment? Hello, Joe.
I don't mean to be pedantic, Robert, but weren't there only 4 Beatles?
Let's get straight into the quiz, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Can I just quickly say, Sarah, you look beautiful today?
Thank you. It hides all of my unsightly bumps.
Okay, your unsightly bump is beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful. And Jess, everyone's beautiful here today. Let's play the quiz with question 1. What city are we currently in? Yes, Sarah.
The greatest city in the world.
I'm so sorry. You were bashing the... What's up? There we go. It works. It works. You okay? Okay, we might have picked the wrong audience over here. This is a different one. Let's go. What is the capital city of Victoria? Yes, Craig.
It's Melbourne.
Correct.
Greatest city in Victoria.
1 point for Craig. What were Ned Kelly's final words? Yes, Sarah.
Such is life.
Correct. 1 point for Sarah. Now, in what year were the Olympics held in Melbourne? Oh my goodness. Yes, Heidi. For goodness sake, yes?
1956.
Yeah, I'm too scared to say no to you. That's correct. I feel like you're going to bash me. Oh my goodness. All right. We will be back in just a few short moments with the fast money here on the $5 quiz. I'll see you shortly. Welcome back to a very special edition of the $5 quiz here from Melbourne. We are about to play this fast money round where every correct answer is worth a massive 5 points. Are we ready, guys?
Yeah.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock and your time starts now. What is the name of Tony Abbott's dog?
Melbourne.
Incorrect. No, it's Maisie. I would have accepted Bigot as well there as well. What is ceviche?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Ceviche. What is ceviche?
Oh,
Yes.
is it a fish? Oh.
It's a fish dish.
Correct. Yes,
A raw fish dish.
What is the smallest mammal in the world? You've got to try and tame it, tame it, tame it. You've got to try and tame this smallest... yes.
A rat.
No, incorrect. It was a shrew. What starts with T, ends with T, and has a lot of tea in it?
TNT. Oh, sorry.
Jess, yes? I'm going to give you 5 points for that. It's actually teapot. Teapot. And that is the time. Jess is on -9, Joe on -5, Sarah on 2, Craig on 11, Elvis on 1, and Heidi on 2. Our champ is Craig. Beautiful work, Craig.
Oh my God. Would you like some change?
Beautiful work. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's check in now with Jono.
Thanks a lot, Robbo. I tell you what, I have still got $50 bet on Celestina winning the $5 quiz. But in the meantime, still to come on your Friday edition of Studio 10, we have the fabulous favourite TV family, the Waltons, coming up. And we're going to be doing a bit of juicing up with my mate, James. Here he is now, James.
The fun continues after the break. We have a live performance from Elvis. He's back. Don't go anywhere.
Down in Louisiana, across the New Orleans, back up in the wood, across the Evergreen. Stood a long time, I made nothing more.
You're frustrated, angry even. So you vent on Facebook. Next thing you know, you find $15,000. In a Studio 10 investigation, how thousands of Aussies are accidentally breaking the law on social media and getting caught. Studio 10, see what all the fuss is about? 8:30 Monday. Well, make sure you don't miss that story. A huge thank you to you, Libby Gorr, for being... Andrew Bolt, thank you so much as well for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
It has been 50 years, of course, since Elvis met the Beatles, and we had the ultimate Elvis to close today's show. We've had a brilliant time in Melbourne. We love you so much.
We love
you so much. You've been so welcoming. See you next week. Bye.
We caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, Libby. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can't build our dreams on suspicious minds. So with an old friend I know, I stop and say hello.